hot diggity dog. This place is magnificent.
Well, I have waited days and days for it to finally reveal itself. Guys, we have the full look of Tom Holland's new suit in Spider-Man Brand New Day. We finally have our set photos because they are actually filming in Glasgow right now, which they shut down a lot of streets, by the way, for filming. The mask is finally here. So guys have probably seen that the suit was revealed. Tom Holland had revealed it himself. And then even prior to that, there was a teaser from Marvel and Sony of just like close-ups of the suit. So finally got the mask. And it's pretty much the same suit that was at the end of No Way Home.
Meme. Approved.
And just by looking at it right now, I mean, it is chef's kiss. It is perfect.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
There's been set photos and there's been set videos as well.
Thanks very much. Tom, I can't take anything because I'll get it on my glove.
That's really cool to see. Just overall, dude, it's amazing. And one thing I actually wanted to go over is, I guess the canon version of why his suit is the way it is because, and it is actually confirmed, by the way, in the universe. If I can find the screenshot, I'll show you guys. Pretty much the reason why the suit looks the way it does, he's got the raised webbing now. He's got the classic colors. He actually drew inspiration from Tobey and Andrew's suits because those suits were, more to the classical, features of how a Spider-Man suit should look like. So it's really cool that he took inspiration from quote unquote his Spider Brothers to actually, make something of his own. And, there's no worse fandom than a Spider-Man fandom, and Spider-Man fans are going to be their worst critic. But there are people who are hating on this suit, and I'm just like, you can't please anyone, because the main thing that people are saying right now is like, oh, it looks like a cosplay suit, and I'm like,
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
a broke Peter Parker. We want to see a depressed Peter Parker, and we're finally getting that. We're finally getting a street level story with that, and now you're saying that, oh, the suit looks like a cosplay. You can't win. You can't win with these guys, because it's like, oh, we have an actual practical suit. Like, we should just be happy about that. It's not like some mocap suit, like how Tom Holland's, whole Spider-Man crew was pretty much in. I mean, yeah, you got the Far From Home suit. He had the Homecoming suit, other suits, but the problem with that is that most of those suits were just covered up in CGI. We can't forget the Civil War suit. That suit actually looked more to the Steve Ditko comics, especially the spider emblem. It looked like an ant more, so to speak. But it had the raised webbing, it had the lenses, but I guess the crew just couldn't get it the way they wanted it to look like on camera, so that's why they didn't go through with that suit. But I'll put it up right here so you guys can take a look. Yeah, that suit did not make it in the final cut of Civil War, so that's why we had the, it looks totally different. It looks totally different. The way they CGI'd it looks absolutely different. So, but yeah, speaking about the suit here, it's bright, it's colorful. So another thing that I remember people were complaining about is that the blue is not as metallic or shiny, because at the end of No Way Home, those colors really popped off. But I don't mind. I like the darker contrast to the red, and the legs on the bottom feel like they were too long, but the more I kept looking at it, I'm actually glad they made it a little bit longer, just because it fills more of the space on his chest. And then another thing people have been saying that I've saw is that the way or where his spider logo is actually placed, it's almost like Andrew's emblem. But people are nitpicking that because they feel like there's too much space open on the top, but I feel like it's fine. I don't really care. I don't really mind it. I think it's perfectly in the middle. You know, that's where his, you know, middle point of his chest is. So I think it's fine. I don't mind it. The mask. Let's just talk about the mask. It's pretty much the same mask. You know, people were speculating, oh, are they gonna do like the huge, like wide, you know, like Ultimate Spider-Man lenses? That wasn't the case here. It seems like the lenses are a little bit bigger, just to kind of complement, you know, the actual face shell of his mask. So I think that's really cool, and it's just nice to have like a real Spider-Man suit. And I hope that they use this suit a lot in dialogue scenes. Like, I don't want, you know, Tom to take off his mask, speak to us just so he can get like that screen time, quote unquote. But I think it's gonna be fine. The web shooters. Let's talk about the web shooters. These web shooters are very homemade, I have to say. I mean, if you look at them, I'm sure there's gonna be like some CGI on them, because I don't know where his trigger is, but that's where it seems like it's going to be, and I couldn't be more excited to see that. But people are like, oh, his web shooters are too clunky, they're too big, and I'm like, okay, are we forgetting that you know, this is not a he has no access to like billionaire tech, no Tony Stark around him, he's got to do it all by himself, and people are still complaining. You cannot please Spider-Man fans. But they are shiny, they are bulky, and I think another reason why they might be that is because he might have different functionalities for the web shooters, whether that's like for impact web, whether that's just like for a strand of web. You know, we're gonna see it in the movie. It's gonna make sense, and I think it's gonna grow on a lot of people, and he might get an upgrade at the end of the film, who knows. But that's pretty much what we're working with here, and it's just so cool. I mean, look, he's gonna have the long hair, which someone said in a video that I had watched, is that the long hair is sort of to kind of showcase where he's at in his life right now. You know, he doesn't really got much going on. He's not really focusing on himself and taking care of his well-being. So the hair, the messy hair in that example, is to sort of kind of, you know, give off that tone of how he's kind of just all over the place right now, and he's not really taking care of himself. A lot of people did want the longer hair in general. I like that look on Peter Parker. The back spider is the same as the front spider, so that's cool. I think I like that. A lot of people were speculating that it could be the classic logo, but I'm like, he kind of already had that in the Homecoming version of the suit, so I think this is really something to call his own suit. And you know, it's cool that he drew inspiration from Tobey and Andrew, and it's almost a way to pay homage going forward to those Spider-Man, because it's like they helped him, you know, go through a really, you know, hard part in his life, and you know, it's the reunion between them is gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see that, if they do that, which I'm hoping. But that's the suit right there, and I think it looks amazing. We're back, you know, so yeah.